So here's the Yasukochi Family Farms CSA box reveal for the week of June 15th. Okay, so it is, God, what day is this? It's the 18th, June 18th, okay, or so my phone tells me. And I'm here with my CSA box. And the CSA box is straight up humongous. So I'll show you this thing. I'm about to break my back. And then this is the box. Okay, it's a big box. Look, little old me, big old box. So thing's straight crazy. It's got about 35 pounds of fruits and vegetables in it. Today I'm just going to show the vegetables because I put the fruits in the fridge earlier in the day because otherwise they go bad. But I'll tell you what they were. They were strawberries, grapes, nectarines, and peaches. Okay, there might be a few of them still like floating around the box, but they're great. They're all fresh and delicious. But what you might not, those are all things you can get in the supermarket pretty easily, just almost any supermarket. But what's sort of rare to get fresh are some of the vegetables that I've got in that box. So I'll show you what all's in there. All right, so this is easily my wife's favorite item in the entire box. These are mushrooms. These are fungi, and they're delicious. I think these are, darn, I don't remember what kind they are. I have to look it up in the weekly bulletin. But these things are absolutely delicious. What I do is I slice these up and we make mushroom pasta with them, and it's just fantastic. Just onion, mushroom, a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and maybe some red pepper flakes. Or I use Slappy Mama, which is a spice mix, dry spice mix. But these things just turn out wonderfully. And then mix them in with some pasta, add some more olive oil, some salt, and some crushed black pepper. Not too much. And it's amazing. So the mushrooms are fantastic. And then what else? Oh my gosh. Okay, so these red peppers are my favorite too. I roast these in the oven and I have them with my lunch. They caramelize really nicely, and they char a little bit at their tips. That's combustion. So the essentially carbohydrate in here is combusting, and you're getting that charred carbon really is what's left over. So this guy is fantastic. Actually, it makes me think about that. Is that really a combustion reaction? Now I got to think about it because nothing like catches on fire in the oven. Okay, I got to think about that. What is that exactly? It seems like it ought to be combustion, but now I got to think. Anyway, these things are fantastic. So you slice them open and they're wonderful, and you roast them and they're great. That's how I have them. Of course, red peppers, you can use them a lot of ways. What else is cool is that we get these fat tomatoes. So these are, I don't know if these are beefsteak tomatoes, big fat tomatoes, the kind you can get in the grocery store pretty easily. But the ones that I hadn't seen before are actually my favorite. So these guys are much harder to come by. These are heirloom tomatoes. And if you've never had heirloom tomatoes, they're way more flavorful than the kind of tomato that I just showed you. So I'll show you. This is like your standard tomato. And don't get me wrong, this guy's got some good flavor here, this guy. But these guys are extra special because what happened was when the scientists, essentially old school genetic modification, it was selective breeding, basically the flavor genes were bred out of these big guys, and they were left in these heirloom tomatoes. So roughly, I was reading a paper on this, roughly like 85% of commercial tomatoes don't have the same flavor molecules that you'll get in these because they were bred out of them. So that's just selective breeding old school. It was a way of essentially genetically modifying crops without actually going in with any sort of cloning techniques and modifying the crops. So it gives you these like big fat tomatoes, right, which are good bang for your buck in terms of mass, right? But this is what you really want, the flavor. So whenever you can go and find heirloom tomatoes, you're on the right track. They have them often at Sprouts. Sprouts is where I can find them regularly. You can also find them at Trader Joe's as like mini heirloom tomatoes, but I don't find them as flavorful as the proper heirlooms that I get from Sprouts. So word to the wise, these are fantastic. And when you make pasta sauce out of these guys, it's incredible. Let's see. We've got got an orange or two. Just found this guy, and this is one of the peaches. So he snuck away. I didn't put him in the fridge, so I have to put him in the fridge. These peaches are fantastic. They're just delicious. The oranges actually are really good too. And then what else? Oh yeah. Sometimes I get these Brussels sprouts. These are wonderful. You can roast these guys in the oven, slice them in half, toss them in olive oil, salt, pepper, and maybe some spice like I always do, and then just roast them in the oven for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes on 450 or 425. I use a preheated pizza stone, which I think is fantastic. These are wonderful. These guys, I haven't seen these before. These are just straight garlic, right? So garlic bulbs. I hadn't ever gotten. This is my first time getting garlic bulbs from Yasukochi Family Farms, and I'm sure they're gonna be delicious. In fact, I've been wanting to try one. Yeah, might be weird if I'm just gonna do what I do. So let's see. All right, so here's a garlic clove, and I'm just gonna go ahead and open this guy up. God, this is a beast to do with your fingernails. Much better to do with your knife, but see how good this guy really is. And garlic, it actually has immune boosting properties. What you're supposed to do is you're actually supposed to expose the garlic to oxygen. So like, take the garlic, crush it up, and expose it to oxygen. It can boost your immune system, which is really nice currently. But this guy tastes the way it does. It's in a genus of plant called allium. These are the alliums, and this guy makes a chemical called allicin, and that's why garlic smells and tastes the way it does. So that's the name of the actual chemical that makes this thing smell and taste like what we know is what we know garlic to smell and taste like. So, yep, that's garlic. Kind of mild though. Let me see. Oh, that's rock on. That's great. Woo! A little spicy. I can eat that all day. And then, what else we got here? This is potato. It's a little like red spud. That's awesome. These guys actually have a decent amount of protein in them. And always remember, their skin is really healthy for you. A lot of their nutrients come in their skin. So don't peel potatoes. Just slice them up and cook them however it is you want to cook them. Their skin is very, very good to keep. Okay, we got these cucumbers. My dogs love cucumbers, actually. We slice them up and we quarter them. And the little munchkins just get eat until they get their fill. So wonderful to have a cucumber for the munchkins. And then, oh my gosh, yeah, you can't. So this is like the most expensive vegetable, right? Like literally the most expensive vegetable is asparagus. This asparagus is wonderful. I roast it in the oven. It's absolutely fantastic. My usual salt pepper mixture with the Slap Your Mama. It's fantastic. Just delicious. Word of the wise, when you roast vegetables in the oven, if you want to cook it, roast it relatively high heat like I do, like 425, 450, use avocado oil. It has a much higher smoke point than avocado oil. Sorry, than olive oil. So avocado oil has that nice high smoke point. It's also got a really neutral flavor. It's great for oven roasting. Or like high heat pan sauteing. Let's see. Okay, so we got a butternut squash. These are absolutely delicious. What you do with these guys is you pick a big old knife, like one of those gigantic knives, those like big santokus, like one of the 9 inches, and you stab this guy right here, like the Flash, like boom, right in there, and you get into it like half, like all the way down through, and then you take the santoku and you just go from you crack the whole thing, and you go from this side too, and you do the same thing. Right, and then the whole thing just opens up, and you can scrape out the seeds. And if you remove the pulp from those and toss them in some olive oil and some salt, spice mixture, whatever, you can roast those in your oven or in your toaster oven. While this guy cooked roasts also. So really nice to do. Pumpkin seed or the squash seeds are delicious. And what else? Oh wow. This is just a really healthy head of purple cabbage. I'm gonna feed this to my munchkins. My dogs love cabbage. I might shred a little bit and have it in a salad for myself, but they love this. And then we've got oh gosh, that's a big healthy head of lettuce. I'm gonna cut this guy up into a salad. Word to the wise: when the outside leaves start to wilt, don't let that put you off. The inside's probably still just fine. So if you forget and you leave it on the counter, for an afternoon or for a day or something, and it looks a little wilted, don't worry. Just take off the outer leaves. The other thing you can do is if they start to wilt in the fridge, again, just take them off and chop it up. It's gonna be fine inside. And then artichoke. These fresh artichokes are amazing. What you do is you quarter them, okay, and you toss them in your salt, pepper, olive oil mixture, and you roast them, and they come out wonderfully. And you just go from there. Even these outer pieces, which are like pretty much indigestible, especially at, at like room temperature or whatever. I wouldn't want to try to eat this thing right now. This part of the leaf, it actually crisps up nicely in the oven, and it's almost like a potato chip. So it's really nice to have once it's been roasted. And then this is the last thing I'll show. I don't want to take out. So I've got a honeydew melon in there, and I've also got it's a big honeydew melon, and I've got a cantaloupe. I don't want to take those out because they're just big and it's gonna mess up. I don't want to then set them back in my box on top of softer things like this nectarine. These nectarines are fantastic. Okay, so if you're not getting a CSA box right now, I highly recommend, or if you are but you're having to pick it up somewhere, I highly recommend Yasukochi Family Farms because that company or that farm delivers to you. So I'm hanging out here on a Thursday, and my box of vegetables and whatnot. They have farm fresh eggs, so we get those. My wife likes to make quiche. They arrive, and it's fantastic. I don't have to go pick it up from some place at some time. It comes to me every week. So well worth it. That's a $35 box of vegetables and fruits. It's great. It's absolutely great. I highly recommend it. That's all. Take care.